Hello and welcome everybody. This is Ellen Simon. I'm one of the co-authors of Pebbles in the Pond. Pebbles in the Pond is an anthology compiled by the Transformational Authors. It consists of 44 different stories. Each one is inspiring, uplifting, and also transformational. So I'm going to read you my story right now, the title of which is Who is the Authority? It all started when I lost my young patient, Patricia, who unexpectedly fell unconscious to the floor. Later in the hospital, an army of high-tech equipped medical personnel found neither a traditional cause nor a cure for her condition. Neither had I. Shortly thereafter, she passed silently to the other side. I had known this young girl so well, with all her heart's pain, rejection, and loneliness. No doubt she had chosen unconsciously this as a way out of her misery. After Patricia's death, my life never was the same, and many questions arose in my mind. Questions like, what is the function of a physician and that of modern medicine? Are we only interested in dysfunctional organs? Are we considering patients only as physical bodies? Could I have saved Patricia's life? And if so, how? I started to question the purpose of my medical career and also my function as a mother and wife. The impact of Patricia's death was for me magnified by the fact that I'd recently lost the eldest of my two sons as a consequence of his drug abuse. Outwardly, I seemed on top of my game. While I had both financial success and social recognition, I still felt unfulfilled. I was dying a private inward death, and the only way I knew how to handle my unbearable pain was by shutting down the connection to my heart. I had come from a narrow, restricting and disempowering Christian background. In traditional medicine, I experienced again dogma and powerlessness. My situation felt so limiting and suffocating. I really had to break out of it. As grace would have it, several synchronicities pulled me in a new direction towards my hidden dreams, namely California and Buddhism. California was for me a symbol of beauty, outer freedom, and being far from everyday life, while Buddhism had a strong philosophical and religious pull on me. I remember vividly my flight to San Francisco, leaving my almost grown son, my husband, my office as a family doctor, and my home country made me feel numb and paralyzed. All I felt was a huge boulder of guilt, shame, and doubt weighing on my heart. Not one person had understood or approved my decision to live in a Buddhist monastery in California. Underneath the big boulder, however, grew a tiny sparkling light of joy, strength, and certainty, something I later came to know as my inner authority. While California was sunny, beautiful, vast, and wonderful, the monastery proved to be far different than expected. My daily schedule started at 5 in the morning and ended between 8 and 10 p.m. 12 to 15 hours of that time were dedicated to working. It was a completely different world for me. The work was intentionally physically demanding to counteract the conditioned Western mental orientation. In the monastery, I did not find the peace I had anticipated. But soon I understood it never would come from my environment. It had to come from the inside of me, which I felt would be a long and slow process. There was no time for formal meditation because there was too much work to do. Work was our main practice tool. Work does not cheat. Rather, it shows you who you really are. Fast, slow, organized, confused, committed, interested, responsible, careless, caring, honest, cheating, enduring, or easily giving up. Whatever your qualities or motivations, work reveals them all. The relentless work was also supposed to quiet the ongoing mind chatter and help loosen the ego games of us students. And it did, but not in a striking and rapid way. Many years went by. I held on to my goals of obtaining my inner peace, genuine happiness, finding my purpose, realizing my full potential and the true nature of reality. I still had a long journey ahead of me to achieve these big soul goals, especially when the actual training was very grounded and down to earth, with work as the path to get there. In my 18th monastic year, my health started to deteriorate. Treating myself using drugs, as I had learned in medical school, didn't help. So I went to see other doctors who prescribed even more drugs. I ended up having a knee operation and a hip replacement. These medical repair shops didn't leave me feeling much better. In fact, quite the opposite. Traditional medicine was no longer my place. Diseases don't happen out of the blue or for no good reason. Something was up. Something was nudging me. But what? And why? The answer was already on its way. Eventually, my intuition led me to an EFT master practitioner. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. EFT is a form of energy psychology. At the time, I did not know what EFT was, nor did I foresee that it would open doors to the most fulfilling epoch of my life, a time that would also hold answers for my many spiritual queries. Already the first healing session was surprising indeed. The emphasis was not on what I considered my significant physical symptoms, but on my psychological and emotional history. During the EFT process, buried emotions started to emerge, and to my astonishment, they gradually subsided, eventually disappeared entirely, and never returned. For my whole life, I had thoroughly suppressed it all without even noticing. In this regard, the hard work at the monastery had not taught me much. The EFT work left me feeling lighter in every sense of the word, also happier, more alive, and more peaceful. Amazing. This was holistic healing, true holistic healing, on all levels, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and energetic. Had these few sessions been necessary to bring my 18 monastic years to fruition? Was there actually a connection? Were these deep changes equivalent to the monastic training, or were they complementary? I still don't know the answer, and I'm at peace that I likely never will. Instead of reading Buddhist literature, now I read indiscriminately about energy healing. My life was split between my commitment to the monastery and my new passion for energy healing. But to fully understand the depth and power of energy healing, I felt I needed more than just reading books. So after another full year of being only half-hearted in the monastery, I knew it was time to make the hard decision to leave. Soon I would turn 71 years old. At first I felt lonely and lost, but thankfully I found a beautiful quiet house in California, close to the ocean. as it was an old dream of mine to live by the ocean. Although things seemed to be falling perfectly into place like a sanction for my decision, doubt and guilt once again were eating at my heart, because my Buddhist teacher did not endorse my plans nor my leaving. He seemed to consider me an arrogant and faithless student. Yet I knew I made the right decision. I had finally discovered that I am the authority for my own life. The energy healing I had experienced became a pivotal point in my life. My newly gained outer freedom and independence allow me now to pursue my study of energy healing and of quantum physics, to which I dedicate most of my time. I appreciate and enjoy every single minute of my life now. A new state of being has begun for me, and it keeps expanding through my work and my learning. Energy healing cannot be fully understood without quantum physics, which is awesome and mind-boggling. It introduces a new dimension, a higher dimension, and it sheds a complete and new light on the world, the physical as well as the spiritual, and it actually dissolves the separating line between the two. The deeper I study energy healing and quantum physics, the clearer it becomes to me what incredible, powerful beings we are. We are truly creators of our lives and co-creators of our lives and of our reality. I envision humankind to soon embrace the new paradigms and evolve into a species that is ready to shift with ease and grace into the new golden world age, an age that is upon us now, right now. We will live with a higher consciousness from the heart instead of from the mind, and from a perspective of oneness rather than of separation. Different paths can manifest this evolution. In fact, when I first began to explore energy healing, I felt confused by all the different modalities available. Many don't require a special gift or talent of the healer. It's even often said that we are all born healers. Yet in other modalities, the healer sends energy from his strong and loving heart to the patient. My favorite modality is using divine energy to heal, which is not something I learned from a book. Rather, I received this ability through the transmission of an advanced healer. Using divine energy is a sacred process. It changed my life more than anything ever has. Imagine directing divine energy, me. Gradually, I began to comprehend the concept of oneness in which we all, including the divine, are deeply interconnected. Now divine healing feels like a natural process, and it is truly evolutionary, because each healing or merging with the divine raises our frequencies, the ones of the healer and of the receiver, which is a necessary adaptation to the new world age. I no longer feel I've deserted my path, anyone or anything. Finally, I know with absolute certainty that I am pursuing my purpose. There's no going back. I'm following the call to act on my insights and my guidance, no matter how small or seemingly absurd. I now trust my inner authority absolutely. I am in my power now, and the gifts I receive in return are confidence, joy, and happiness, often beyond measure. And that, my reader and my listener, is also what I wish for you. And thank you for listening.